Hi, welcome back to the Power of Model Drawing. Now, today we are going to go into our first online lesson on how to draw out a problem creatively. So the whole objective is not to solve the problem, but it's actually to focus on every sentence and draw out sentence by sentence. Alright, so it's a good method for those students who are very weak in their math. So they should try to draw out the model. Alright, so let's go straight into problem 1, and let's see how we draw out these problems. Alright, question 1. Now, there were 9,088 books in the library. Okay, so let's highlight the important words. So first thing to do is, before you start drawing or solving, you should always read and highlight to see what kind of problem it is. So there were 9,088 books in the library. There were 4 times as many English books as Malay books. So which means that your English books has 4 boxes, and your Malay books will have 1 box. Now, there were an equal number of Malay and Tamil books, and there were half as many Chinese books as English books. The half is like a fraction, so you can actually write a fraction. And if you recall the lessons in last year, alright, you can see that how do we interpret the fraction. The numerator points to the first group, which is the Chinese books, and the denominator points to the second group, which is the English books. That's how you do arrow pointing. So how many Malay books were there, and how many English books were there? So this is what you should be doing before you draw the model. You should read and highlight. Alright, and after you have read, then you start to draw out sentence by sentence. So let's look at the first sentence and see, can we draw? Now, there were 9,088 books in the library. So can we draw anything? Well, if you can draw, then you draw. If you can't, then you jump to the next sentence. And before we continue further, now, do we start with a parts whole model, or do we start with a comparison model? Every time you draw your model, you have to think of whether is it better to use a parts whole or comparison. Now, in this problem, I will use comparison because you have four types of books. You have 4 times. You have half. So all these are keywords, right? Keywords to tell you that a comparison model is more suitable. Alright, so let's draw the comparison model. So in the first sentence, you don't know how to draw, jump to the next sentence. And English books will be 4 times. So you draw a rectangle, cut into 4 boxes. And the Malay books will be 1 time. So you are drawn until here already. And there were equal number of Malay and Tamil books. So how do you draw the model for Tamil books? Equal number means you draw a similar box, right, to show equal. So you're drawn until here. And there were half as many Chinese books as English books, so which means that your English books will have 2 boxes and Chinese books will have 1 box. So how do you draw the Chinese books? You look at the English books and there are 4 boxes. How to make it 2 boxes? You just have to cut it into 2 groups. So instead of cutting into 2 boxes, or instead of making 2 boxes, you can cut into 2 groups. Then the Chinese books will be 1 group, which is until the dotted line. And you also must do the same, right? The whole model has all boxes which are similar. So for the Chinese rectangle, you need to make it the same as well. So you cut into 2 boxes each, right, for each group. Right, so every group has 2 boxes. So English box has 2 groups. Every group is 2 boxes. The Chinese books has 1 group. So there'll be 2 boxes inside the group. Alright, how many Malay books were there? So your question mark, alright, is in the Malay box. And how many English books were there? So your question mark is, you can place your question mark anywhere you want. Alright, and remember the first sentence that we couldn't draw. So we come back to the first sentence and we add on to the model. So which is 9,088. And that's how your model looks like. Okay, so this is the whole idea of model drawing, is to be able to draw out the problem, and then you see the model and use the model to come up with the steps. Alright, so let's look at the model, and you can see that every box all look the same. So you call them all units. Okay, so model drawing is about making units out of the model. Alright, then what else do we do next? We can add up all the boxes, which is a total of 8 units, and that is equal to 9,088. So when you draw the model and there are units in the model, then you need to write the unit statements, which makes everything clear. So 1 unit will be 9,088 and divide by 8. And these are the steps, right? That will give you the meta marks. Okay? So model drawing doesn't give you what? Doesn't give you the marks actually. So no matter how well your model drawing looks like, you will not get the marks, right? What gives you the marks are the steps over here. So 9088 divided by 8, you will get 1136. Alright, that's 1 unit. So how many Malay books are there? Which is 1136. That's 1 unit, right? And then the English books, there are 4 units. So you take 1136 and you multiply by 4. So don't jump any steps, right? Show your steps very clearly so that the teacher can follow your steps easily. So 1136 times 4, and you have 4544 English books. And you have solved part A and part B. Okay, so it looks very easy. So actually, if you draw a good model, the solving comes very fast. Okay, so now let's go to question number 2. Alright, now Rose has some money to buy some cupcakes. If she bought 12 cupcakes, she will need $17 more. If she bought 7 cupcakes, she'll be left with $3. How much money did Rose have? Alright, so when I read this problem, do I want to start with a parts whole or comparison model? Well, when you draw comparison, when you see more than, less than, shorter than, 3 times, twice, and all those keywords. But in this problem, you have the word more. But this more is not really more than something, right? You don't see more than something. So the word more is actually refers to what? Refers to shortage. It means that you don't have enough money. So that is your shortage. And then when you are left with $3, that is actually called your excess. So this problem is your excess and shortage problem. So I wouldn't want to draw a comparison model because I don't see more than something else. So I will draw a parts whole model. Alright, so let's draw the model, and every time you draw your model, you always start from the first sentence. We usually don't draw backwards, even though you can, because drawing backwards is harder, right? So we always draw forward. So let's draw the first sentence, and if you're going to draw a parts whole model, then the first sentence always can draw. Usually can always draw something, which is the money that Rose had. And that is your first sentence. If she bought 12 cupcakes, she will need $17 more. So take part of this rectangle, cut it, right, which is part of the money to buy 12 cupcakes. And do not put the labels inside the boxes. What do you put in the boxes? Usually the numbers, right, the numbers. Alright, and then she will need $17 more. So that is what you put inside. And this is your shortage. Oops, okay, Miss need to erase. Alright, that's the model drawing is inaccurate. Let's draw again. Okay, now if she bought 12 cupcakes, she will need $17 more. So which means that she doesn't have enough money. So this rectangle is her money and she doesn't have enough money. So you need to draw the shortage box. That is correct now. So you have to show the not enough. The money that she doesn't have, which is $17 more, that is the shortage. Right, shortage. And with that $17 more, she can buy 12 cupcakes. Okay, now it looks correct. Okay, so lesson here, if you're going to draw a parts whole model, the first sentence usually you can draw. You can always draw a rectangle to represent the money. And if she doesn't have enough money, you show the invisible box, which is the shortage box. Okay, if she bought 7 cupcakes, she will be left with $3. So look at the money that she has, which is the rectangle with dark lines, and you cut part of the rectangle, and that is part of the money that she's going to use to buy 7 cupcakes. And then she will have $3 left. So this is the leftover. Okay, all right. My apologies that it's not proportional. $3 is actually longer than $17, but it actually doesn't matter because once you have labeled your model, then it really doesn't matter whether it's long or short, right? Whether $3 is supposed to be shorter or long or whatever. So just label clearly, right? Make sure you have clear labels, and the labels will help you to solve later on. Okay, so where are we now? We are drawn until here already, all right? So how much money did Rose have? So if you look at the model, you need to recognize what is her money, right? What is her money at first, all right? So the money that she has is from the beginning of your drawing, all right, and until here, okay? That is her money that she has, Alright, so you can make use of dotted lines to help you to put the question mark so that you don't mess up the drawing or the drawing doesn't get too messy. So this is your question mark, which is the money that you are asked to find. And that is how your model looks like. So you have completed your drawing. Okay, so when you do model drawing, when you apply this method, it's always to try to draw the problem out first. Draw out the problem. And then now you look at the model and then you see what you can do with the model. Can you come up with the steps? Right? Can you see something from the model? So if I look at the model, I can see that there are 12 cupcakes. I can see there are 7 cupcakes. So can I find the difference, which is over here? Right? What's the difference? That will be 5 cupcakes. Right? 5 cupcakes. So use arrow sign. Alright, arrow sign to indicate where is the 5 cupcakes. And then if you look at the arrow sign, you can also see that your 5 cupcakes is actually how much? Is $3 plus $17. So 3 plus 17, you get $20. So can you find 1 cupcake, which is 20, and then you divide by 5. And your 1 cupcake is $4, right? Okay, now you look at the question mark. How do you find the question mark? Well, to find the question mark, I need to find the 7 cupcakes first. So how much is 7 cupcakes? I take 7 times 4, I get $28. And whatever numbers you have found, you put into your model, right? And now it becomes very clear. So you take $28 and you plus $3, that will give you the question mark. And your answer will be $31. So how much money does she have? $31, right? So you can see that if you can draw a good model, the solving actually come faster, right? Okay, now, so let's go on to the last problem for today. So I hope that so far you have gotten the answers, or most importantly is that you have attempted to draw the model before viewing the solution. Alright, so try to draw the model, try to solve it before you watch the online lessons. Okay, now let's go to the last problem. Now, Miss Tan bought some ingredients for a party. First, she bought some Milo from store A with $5.20 more than half of her money. After that, she bought some ice from store B with $1.80 less than half of her remaining money. Then she had $4 left. So how much money did she spend buying Milo from store A? So what kind of model do you think I should draw this? Well, you will tell me that, okay, I need to draw a comparison model because I see more than or less than. You're right. But if you remember the early lessons, all right, in 2019, how we draw fractions with remainder. So when there are remainders in the problem, then what do? We always draw a parts whole model, all right, if there's a remainder problem. All right, so there's a remainder problem here because you can see that there's a remaining, right? So we have to draw a parts whole model. All right, so just take note, right? To whenever you see remainder, all right, remainder, then the best model or the most suitable model to draw will be a parts whole model. All right, comparison model is when you see more than, less than, and 3 times, twice, 4 times, then you draw a comparison model. But because this problem has a remainder, right? So you'll be more suitable, right, to draw the remainder, to draw the parts whole model. Okay, so let's draw out the sentence. Now, the first sentence, if you're going to draw a parts whole model, now the first sentence you can always draw a rectangle, which is the money, right? The rectangle represents the money. She bought some Milo from store A with $5.20 more than half of her money. So I cut this rectangle into half, right? And then she's going to use half plus another $5.20 more. So I draw a dotted line to show the how much more. And this part of the model is used to buy Milo from store A. Okay? Yeah, so that's how you draw the second sentence. Okay, let's go to the next sentence. After that, she bought some ice from store B with $1.80 less than half of the remaining. So that's the remainder. So where is the remainder in your model, which is on the right side? That is your remainder. So it's always better to draw a parts whole model if there's a remainder. All right, again, there's a half there. So you cut the remainder into half, right, into half. Okay, but what I would like to do is, I do not want to make it very confusing. I want to drop down the model, right? Drop down the model so that you can see more clearly. So let's drop down the model, and okay, let me just take away this thing. Okay. All right. So now I can't remove that. So we're going to leave it there. Okay. So this is the remainder money, and you cut it into half. All right, half. And she's going to buy some ice from store B with $1.80 less than half. So you're going to cut backwards over here. This is your $1.80 less than half of the remaining money, and is used to buy ice. Okay, and then she had $4 left, which is from here to the end. That is your $4 left. Okay, so try to be clear in your labeling. All right, be very clear in your labeling, so that later when you look at the model, you don't get confused, or you don't get stuck. So where are you now? You're until here. So how much money did she spend buying Milo from store A? So your question mark will be over here. All right, and you are done. Okay, so your model is done. So look at the model, and how do we find the question mark? So it's not that difficult. All you have to do is you look at the remainder. Can you see the $4 left? If you minus away $1.80, what do you get? You will get, okay, $4 minus $1.80, you will get $2.20. And whatever you have found, you should add on to your model. And isn't that half of the remainder? So if this is $2.20, then the other side must also be $2.20, right? And then can you find that box there, the ice? How much do you spend to buy the ice? $2.20, and you minus $1.80, and of course you get 40 cents. Okay, so let me just put down here 40 cents. Okay, all right, and then whatever you drop down is the same as above. It means that on top is the same as below, right? So you take $2.20, you can times 2, and you will get $4.40. And you can, I think we can put inside. Okay, let's put down $4.40. All right, so if you look at the model, it now becomes more clear, right? It has become more clear now. So what do we do next? All right, so you study your model carefully, and you can see that on top there is a parts whole model that you draw at the beginning. There is a half. Where's the half? If you still remember, where's the half? The half is over here, right? This is half. Okay, half. Okay, and then the other half is over here. So you have two equal boxes, right? Two equal boxes. All right, now if this is this half, how much is that? That will be $4.40. Okay, $4.40 plus $5.20, you will get $9.60. Okay, so you put down over here $9.60. Okay, and isn't that the same as over here, right? Okay, let me just put in, which is the empty box. Okay, this is $9.60, and this is also $9.60, right? Okay, so now can you find how much is the Milo? So the Milo will be $9.60 plus $5.20. Okay, so $9.60 and you plus $5.20, and you will get how much? So let me just use my calculator, and you will get $14.80, and you solve the problem, right? And just by using the model to help you to solve. Okay, so over here it looks actually it's a bit hard for P4 level, right? So but all these problems are taken out from other school exam papers. So if you happen to see this problem in your exam papers, okay, it's actually quite hard. But if you can draw the model, then it has become very easy for you. Alright, so this is the model and how it looks like. And so we have come to the end of our model drawing for this first online lessons. So in the next coming online lesson, right, we'll continue to focus on how to draw out the problems creatively. So every Thursday at 8 p.m., I'll be uploading or streaming my recorded lessons at 8 p.m. every Thursday, and it's for primary 3, primary 4 students. And at 9 p.m., I'll be streaming the upper level, which is primary 5, primary 6, right, at 9 p.m. So you can watch the videos, right, you can watch online, right, to see how to draw the problem, because model drawing is a very common method that all teachers should be using in schools. So it is to your advantage that if you know how to draw the model, right, it is your advantage that you will be able to solve many problems, right? But do take note that there will be some problems that we are not encouraged to use model, right? So you will have to use other methods. So model drawing is not the only method. There are still other methods that you can use. All right, so okay, so we come to the end of our first online lesson. So I will see you next week on Thursday, right, at 8 p.m.